What's up guys, Logan here, and today I'm going to be going over some backcountry essentials with you, things that are paramount for me to bring on my trips, regardless of the season, whether it be summer, fall, winter, what have you. Obviously it'll change, situation will dictate through the seasons, but these are just the basics of things that I bring, and I believe that most people that are experienced in the outdoors are going to bring with them. There's things you could add, there's things you could take away from the video. I'm just going to kind of go through some things and explain some things to you guys, and then towards the end of the video I'm going to give you some information and some updates on things that are coming up for myself and for Doc, some new things that I've gotten, and just what we have planned for the future, guys. So let's go ahead and get into this video. One more thing, guys, this is something I've never done in any of my videos, but I'm going to go ahead and remind you guys, if you haven't subscribed already and you enjoy my videos, please hit that subscribe button and please hit the notification bell to be notified of any of my new videos that come out. This allows the channel to grow faster. This helps me out. This allows you guys to see my content. And it just makes everything better for the future. I've been putting a lot of money and a lot of time into my YouTube lately, getting things ready to make my content even more sweet for you guys. And Doc and I have a lot of big things coming up, and I'm super excited to bring it to you guys. So let's get into the video. All right, guys, number one for me is always going to be GPS, map, and compass. This includes, so this is my Garmin. This is the Tactic 7 AMO LED edition. This is a critical tool for me. On 1 hour charge, the watch lasts 31 days, and it takes about an hour to charge. The map, GPS, the satellite capabilities of this watch have blown any expectations I have out of the water. That does not mean this is the end-all be-all tool. You definitely need to be proficient in map work. You need to be proficient with map pens, protractors, compasses. You need to know how to do that manual land navigation. You also need to study terrain features and understand how to navigate based off terrain features and understand the lay of the land. That goes for civilian side and military side. As most of you know, I was a Marine infantryman. I spent some time overseas in Ukraine as a private contractor. I have a lot of experience in land nav, maps, compasses, but this Garmin has blown my expectations out of the water. So number one for me is going to be make sure you are studied up on your land navigation, make sure you have a proper map, compass, GPS. There's nothing wrong with electronics, obviously. Definitely get a Garmin. Have something to help you navigate. There's plenty of other brands, things you can have, but for me, the Garmin is the way to go. I've never not had connection to their satellites, no matter where I've been around the world and around the US, and I can't recommend them enough. All right, guys, next, and this is gonna sound simple to some of you, and then some of you probably go out for hikes or to camp or whatever you're doing, and then are like, oh man, I forgot sunscreen, or I forgot a hat, or I forgot my shades. Don't forget them when you're going out in the wilderness, especially for extended periods of time, and especially if it's going to be snowy and bright, like a lot of alpine mountain regions, just the mountains in general, or just out in the snow in general. The light reflecting off the snow can really burn you, can cause snow blindness. And then your layering systems, not just for UV protection, but also for like windburn protection and from the cold. So hats, shades, long sleeves, breathable UV protected light and breathable clothes for those hotter days. Like let's say you're going to climb a 14er, or you're just going higher elevation, alpine, adventuring, camping, whatever you're doing. UV protection, so sunscreen, shades, hats, and UV protective layers that are also light and breathable if it's a warmer day. And then if it's colder, still UV protection from the snow, snow blindness, etc. All right, guys, the next essential pieces of gear you're going to need to bring is your layering system. And it really depends on the season on what you need to bring. Obviously, if it's the dead of the summer on the East Coast, you probably don't need more than a light jacket, a hoodie, and possibly a light sleeping bag for the nights. If you're going to be out overnight during the day, a long sleeve shirt will probably get you by. You probably even want a regular t-shirt. But if it's going to be an extended time out in the wilderness and it's not the summer, let's say it's the end of the fall and you're at high elevations where it could possibly snow, or even in the mountains, you're going to want to think about bringing a base, mid, and outer layer. And I'm going to show you at the end of the video, guys, I'm going to show you for each category that we did, I'm going to lay out all my gear and then show you kind of my gear list for whatever trip I'm estimating. I'm just going to show you all the different items that I would bring, and then I'll kind of talk about what I would leave and what I would bring with me depending on the length of the time, the environment, etc. But your layering system is extremely important. So if you're going out in the winter, I like to rock merino-wool base layers. I have a ton of different mid layers, and I have a ton of different outer layers. In the most extreme cold, I use the extreme cold weather system. It's a system I use in the military. It's Arctic cold rated, -40, -50 degrees Fahrenheit. You're completely warm in it. I've tested it up to -25 degrees Fahrenheit. It was completely warm out in the wind. That was my blizzard trip with another buddy who was a Marine of mine, another friend of mine who was a Marine. So yeah, guys, layering system is extremely important. And like I said at the end of this video, I'll go ahead and show you everything compiled together. All right, guys, the next backcountry essential is going to be illumination items, whether that be headlamps, your phone flashlight, your watch flashlight, anything that's illumination, flares, lighters, just anything, lanterns as well, anything that allows you to be able to see in the darkness, or even to be used as marking. That's something people forget. I always keep some flares with me, especially if I'm going extremely deep into the wilderness and I plan to stay for an extended amount of days. Not only can those flares double as illumination or marking to get you out if you need to be seen, they're also great in a pinch to start fires. I know this because I've done it in -25, -30 degree weather, needing to start a fire. We've used the flares to immediately, and pretty quick, because they can burn thousands of degrees Fahrenheit, so they can dry wood out and get wood lit fast, and get you a fire in a pinch, especially if it's extremely snowy, rainy. As long as you can get some cover, whether you use tarp, natural cover, what have you, they are extremely useful in starting fires. But illumination, guys, is extremely important. I highly recommend headlamps, electronic lanterns, your watches, if your watch is applicable with a flashlight, phone lights, what have you. Just make sure you have ways to light up the dark and to be seen if you need to be seen. All right, guys, the next essential backcountry items are going to be medical supplies. And how much you need and what you need will depend on, obviously, your experience level, the ability you actually have to treat whatever injury or whatever happens out there, and how long you're going to be out there. Like if you're just going to be out for an overnight, something the size of this quick access IFAC will probably be good. It also depends on your mode of transportation. Like obviously if you're hiking and you're doing like a 5-day trip and you're going to have a big pack anyway, you probably don't want to have a monstrous med bag with you or another bag to carry unless you want to strap it to the top, which is what most combat medics do. 68 Whiskeys, Corpsmen, what have you, strap their assault packs, their med bags on top of their 3 to 5 day bags, their main packs. But for like a day or two, or even up to like 5 days, this will probably be fine, especially depending on your experience level. You can put the basics in here. You can attach it to your pack. It's easy. You can carry something like this, depending on how your pack setup already is and your experience level. There's a lot of stuff in here. You can also take some specific things out of a larger med bag. Let's say you do have a larger med bag. Take the smaller items that you think you can need or what you could encounter on the trip, like some water purification tablets in here. You could bring some sutures, gauze, obviously, Band-Aids, Coban, what have you. Really just bring what you think you're going to need and maybe bring a little bit extra. It's always okay to over-prepare, and it's actually preferred, especially out in the wilderness, the backcountry, when you're far in, because if you get an injury, you need to get it clean. If you get a cut, you need to get it cleaned, you need to stop the bleeding, you need to get it wrapped, get it covered, because infections out in the wilderness can come quick. So you got to keep those things clean. You got to get the bleeding stopped. Yeah, guys, like I said at the end, I'll go through, I'll show you what I would bring with me personally, depending on the situation, the weather, what have you. All right, guys, the next item is going to be fire. There's a lot of different things you can bring, and I bring numerous things. So obviously, first and foremost, as long as you can keep it dry, a lighter. It really does not get easier than a lighter and something dry to burn. Fire pellets. Bigfoot Bushcraft makes great fire pellets. Tons of companies do. You can get the ones at Walmart that are like wood kindling, wax wood. You can get anything like that. And then flint and steel, which if you've seen some of my older videos, you've seen I've gotten pretty proficient with the flint and steel method, which I really do like. But you can't go wrong with the lighter. I put them in there together and a few fire starters. Keep it in a little tin like that. Super easy to bring. Fits in the small compartments of any pack. Yeah, guys, just make sure you have fire, lighter, flint and steel. Like I said earlier, the flares. Flares are an awesome option in extreme cases. Obviously, you don't want to just go burning a flare. If it's super dry out, you don't want to start a forest fire. But if it's the winter time, heavy snow's coming down, it's cold, you don't have a lot of dry wood, or the wood is a little damp, that flare will, and out of experience I know, that flare will dry that wood out and get it rolling. And you can have a fire that can cook your food, keep you warm, and keep you alive. All right, guys, next I'm going to go into what you could consider like a repair kit thing, repair items. So knives, multi-tools, duct tape, a sewing kit, things like that. Sewing kits and things, fall into more of extended adventures. But I mean, you could rip your trousers. You want to get things like that sewed up if you know how, because you don't want ticks and things getting in your trousers, dirt, what have you, water. So sewing kits, multi-tools, things like that. Just those essential repair items that you want to bring that are handy. You need to open a can. It's nice to have a multi-tool with a can opener, things like that. All right, the next thing, and I'm going to hit them both together, is I'll just conclude it all into one. Nutrition, including food and hydration. Bring enough food for your trip. Bring enough meals for ever how many days you're going to be out there. I recommend 2 meals, like main meals. Bring plenty of snacks. Things like granola and things work well. Easy to digest, high in salt. Get your body the electrolytes you need. I always recommend, if you're going to be out there, let's say you're going to go out for 3 days, bring 4 days of food. If you're going to be out for 5 days, bring 6 days of food. Always bring an extra day's worth of food. You never know if you're going to have an incredibly exhausting day or if you're still going to be hungry. If you're feeling weak, you want to give your body fuel. You want to give your body calories, because calories is energy. Bring an extra day of food. So if you're going out for 3, bring 4 days of food. And bring plenty of water. Also bring ways to purify your water, whether it be a Sawyer, whatever kind of filtering system you use, tablets, what have you. Boil your water. Just make sure you're drinking enough water. Have things to boil water in, and have enough bottles to put your water in. All right, guys, and last but not least, shelter. If you're going out for 3 to 5 days, chances are you're bringing a tent with you, some kind of tarp shelter, because like Rab, the mountain people, they make a great sill tarp that is weatherproof. It can be tightened, extremely tight, cinched low, water rolls right off of it. I've used it in some pretty wild rainstorms in North Carolina in the Linville Gorge. Bring a tent, bring a tarp, whatever you plan. Even if you're just going out for a day, if you know there's a chance you could somehow end up lost, at least bring a space blanket, something that can help you maintain your heat if you do have to spend a night out in the wilderness unprepared. And that's also where your layering system comes in. Checking the weather forecasts, knowing the area, knowing your altitude, and knowing what season you're in, and what you could possibly face out there, because the weather in the mountains can turn on a dime, especially over 4,000 feet, anything 4,000 feet and higher. The weather can kind of do its own thing, so you need to be prepared for whatever kind of weather you can encounter, and that comes with proper preparation. So, yeah, guys, do not skimp on your shelters, and don't skimp on life-saving gear ever. Either buy high-quality gear or check like Facebook marketplaces and things like that to find more budget options of the higher quality gear. Just don't skimp out on life-saving gear. I can't stress that enough. All right, guys, now I'm going to go into everything that I have laid out here and kind of explain to you what everything is. On the top left, we have a Gerber knife, Garmin Tactic 7 for GPS navigation, a map underneath as well of the area that I frequent. Then binoculars for land navigation and terrain feature navigation. Moving over, UV protection, we have some 50 SPF sunscreen. Getting into the first aid option, I'm just going to go from left to right. I've laid this out as if it's matching the current season. It's about fall. I'm in a mountainous region, so it's already getting chilly in the mornings. At the higher elevations, it's in the low 30s. So I've kind of laid it out in that way. Have an undershirt here. It's also very UV protective. Hat, some Ray-Bans for eye protection. This for the evenings. This is just a outer layer for this time of the year. Even have some merino wool base layers, some basic gloves, and some very quick drying bottoms. And then depending on how I'm feeling throughout the day, I could add and take layers away. I have a bigger pack depending on if I wanted to bring an actual tent, but that's why I've laid out my Rab tarp, which is an easy, quick, light shelter that can easily be packed into my smaller pack here. I have other packs. This is just what I've laid out for the video. Coming over here, since I do know a good bit medically, bringing some sutures out, some C-Locks, which is a quick clot of hemostatic gauze, some regular gauze, and then just some basic Band-Aids, alcohol pads, some Coban. We have the Life Straw, water purification tablets, portable charger. Obviously, you bring your cords. Have a Cat 7 tourniquet, 2 days worth of food right here, a jar of peanut butter, and then a snack, which is 2 servings in there. Camelback, obviously, large Nalgene. You can bring as much water as you want, but if you have methods of purification, life straw, water tablets, and then the ability to start fire and boil, I would also bring out a stainless steel pot, an ultralight pot with me to boil water, cook specific things that I want to cook. But this is just the very basics, guys. You can add things, you can subtract things, you can mix and match your layering system however you want. I have extreme cold weather systems, I have fleeces, I have wool socks, I have different kinds of boots and shoes and all kinds of different kinds of tops and bottoms. So it's really just dependent on what you want to bring. Foam pad, you can do different setups for the ground. You can pick a bigger pack, smaller packs. I can fit all this stuff because I'll be wearing most of this. I can fit almost all of this in this 22 liter here. Obviously, preference would be a bigger pack, even like a 30 liter. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching. If you enjoy this kind of content, please make sure to subscribe, like, let me know what you think in the comment section. You guys subscribing helps me a ton. I just got a brand new camera set up. I spent almost $2,000 on the entire camera setup, all the accessories. It's the GoPro Hero 13, and it's going to look absolutely insane. Doc and I have a trip coming up in October. And it's going to be, the scenery is going to be beautiful. We have a lot of good things planned for it, a lot of good hiking, a lot of good climbs and things that are planned for it, guys. So we're super excited to bring that to you guys, and a lot of this gear will go with me on that trip. So if you guys enjoyed this, please subscribe, please like, leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.